this episode of She Decides, host Staci Swiderski sits down with Kate Capelli, business mentor and former founder of Adventures in the Wild, to talk about what it really takes to grow a purpose-driven business without losing your spark. After years of leading global adventures and supporting over 300 entrepreneurs, Kate now helps solo business owners replace overwhelm with clarity through her 7-step journey to sustainable growth. She shares how to stay connected to your why, overcome the stress of finding clients, and build a business that feels as good as it looks. Tune in for a grounded, empowering conversation about purpose, freedom, and trusting the next step in your entrepreneurial path. Because when she decides, she turns ideas into action, purpose into progress, and passion into possibility. You know who made it.
Welcome, everybody, to our next episode of She Decides. I am your host, Staci Swiderski, and I am super excited to introduce our guest today, Kate Capelli. She is a wonderful business coach, and she has a passion, right, for coaching women who are solo entrepreneurs, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So this is going to be a super educational, I believe, episode for our listeners, because so many of them are on the the edge to start their own company, or as they're moving up ranks, maybe in their current organization. So I think this is going to be a nice little sneak peek for them. And also, I'm really excited to hear more about the Adventures in the Wild that you ran for, what's the UK's largest women's adventure company. So that's going to be fun too. So let's get started. And thank you again for joining us. And I have so many questions for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to dive in.
Yes. So let's get started with the easy question. What really inspired you to start your business, and how has your why really evolved over time?
So with what I do now, so currently I'm a business coach for coaches, so coaches in the health, wealth and relationship space. Prior to this, I was helping all solo entrepreneurs. So it's that kind of natural segue into your niche, right?
Yep.
So leading up to this, I was a business support manager. So I worked in that job supporting hundreds of entrepreneurs, so helping them on their journey. It's like a support system in London for solo entrepreneurs who sort of, they're a bit lost, they don't know what to do. So we have a chat with them and we point them in the right direction. And during that time, when I spoke to hundreds of these new business owners, or even some people that had been in business for years, they all sort of got stuck at the same point. And half of them were coaches. So that was my decision first off, to go down the coach route, because I feel like they need more assistance than most. And also they kept getting stuck with the same issue, which is getting clients. It's such a common problem when people start a business. They're sort of like,
Right.
yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm so excited to sell this thing or offer this service or provide something for the people. And then when they go out there, they're like, oh, damn, how do you actually
Where are they all at?
sell it? Like,
Right.
get these clients.
How can I get them to come to me?
Yeah. And that is the conversation I'd be having over and over and over. And I just saw such a need and such a desire for these people to have some assistance and some support in around that particular subject. So when I mean, we're going to talk more about it, but when I ran my adventure company, I didn't really have that many issues with getting clients. It seemed like a very natural thing to me, that what I was doing was very naturally leading to client magnetism and people coming to us. So in my business support role, I just had a lot of value to offer. And then when I finally went out on my own, so what I'm doing now, it translated so well. And my why, one of my, more of like a personal why, one of my biggest values is helping people. So making a difference, and I think a lot of coaches, they will all say this, but this really lights my soul on fire. It makes me so
Well, I can
happy.
tell. I mean, you have such a energy about you. So yeah, very I can see where people would just gravitate towards you.
So yeah,
For
that was a big thing for me. It's yeah, like I said, one of my biggest values. So from a why perspective, definitely that. I mean, I get a massive kick out of it, selfishly, as we do when we help
Hey,
people.
it's a win-win, right? You love what you do and you're helping others. So it's definitely a
Yeah.
win-win. It's a very purpose-driven, goal for you and career. So I mean, clearly you're doing something wonderful.
Thank you.
So do you see, like you had mentioned, a lot of the business owners get stuck kind of in that, just like their wheels are spinning, but they're just not taking off. And and one of the most common reasons behind that is because they're not getting the clientele. Is that another, do you see like do any of them have like staff to where that also maybe they're, maybe this like maybe it's a sales thing like with staff, or maybe it is an HR thing, or maybe it's just people not motivated or committed, or is it typically more just getting those clients in the door?
Yeah, so a lot of them, I mean, because they're solo entrepreneurs and they're really sort of starting from the ground up, I mean, they're not even able to take on the staff because they can't even get the clients to get the
Okay.
money to hire the
Right.
staff.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
sometimes we do talk about outsourcing because growth, I mean, you need to outsource to grow, like you need staff to grow, and it's as simple as that. And even if they can even start with just a VA, or start with
Hmm.
someone at least managing their content who knows what they're doing and understands brand vision, etc.
Right.
But
Right.
they don't even know where to start, because they don't know
Yeah.
about marketing themselves.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So solo entrepreneurship. So meaning, yes, it's just them solo. It's not like they have a business partner or anything like that. It's literally them getting started and like, where do I go from here? So definitely, definitely. And it's funny because I just posted, I believe it was this week, about once you do start, I think when you're, even if you're not ready, get started. If you know this is something you want to do and you know it's your passion,
Absolutely.
get started. But I think in order to really scale, I think you definitely have to have systems down and systems in
Yeah,
place. And I can
100%.
imagine, yeah, they get kind of stuck there too. So,
Yeah,
well,
because
that's
nobody tells you, right?
right, right. You're like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then they do it, and they're like, oh
Yeah,
no, what do I do
yeah.
now?
What do I
I know
do
what I want.
first,
Right.
second
I
and
know
third
what
and
that
fourth?
right, right. What are the
Yeah,
steps? And they know what they want the end result to hopefully look like, but it's like, oh, wait, we got to get there now. What are those
yeah,
steps?
yeah.
So my next question for you is that obviously entrepreneurship is not always glamorous, right? Um, what's a challenge that tested you, and how did you move through that?
Yeah, so when I ran my first business, so Adventurous in the Wild, that was the adventure company for women in the UK. That was very accidentally a business. It started as a hobby group because I wanted to meet women who like hiking and climbing because I'm quite adventurous and crazy, and I just I just wanted to meet people as crazy as me, basically. So I started doing that as a hobby and then began to monetize. It grew into a business. It grew into a community of over 8,000 women. And I was running that so intensely. I mean, as you do with your first business, you kind of think grind culture's the only way.
Right. You
You
live and breathe
wake
it, and
up,
yes.
yeah, grab the laptop, start working. And I mean, I was working all day, every day, 7 days a week, because on the weekends I'd be running events. And during the
Right. Because
week,
you have the
I'd be
events
doing, yeah, admin, growth tasks, systems, everything.
to prepare for
Um,
it for the event.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot running an adventure business. And with that, after, years of this, I eventually hit that burnout wall, which I think is a rite of passage when you're a first time business owner. You usually learn the hard way unless you are investing
Well, it's really kind
properly.
of to be expected, right? because you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
prepared for it. And I hit that burnout wall, and that was a huge challenge. And emotionally, I really took a knock with that, and
Hmm.
I'm not an overtly emotional person, but I would cry over anything, when they say no use crying over spilt milk. I mean, I was crying over spilt milk. I was crying over
You're like, this
spilt
isn't
anything at
right.
that point. Yeah, I was just always in tears. So that's when I knew. I was like, wow, something's really wrong with me. I shouldn't be feeling nervous, panicky. I shouldn't be crying every 5 minutes. But I think it took me too long to really realize it was burnout.
Hmm.
And I really had to pull through that. I really had to recognize what was going on. I did have a coach at the time as well, like around that time, who sort of made me recognize that. And then the whole grind culture, I sort of flipped on its head. And like you said, I learned systems. I learned to like look at my entire business from a step back and say, right, what here needs to go? Because a lot of the time you're spending time on things that are just taking your time, taking your energy, but they're not really of benefit over the
And
long run.
did you have any help at all, or was it just you solo running this?
Yeah, my partner was also helping me out. I had like freelance staff every now and then, but I didn't
Okay. Yeah.
have official staff like on team or
So you didn't
anything.
have many people to like delegate tasks to, like it was on you for the most part.
Yeah, I wore
Yeah.
every hat for a long time. Yeah, until I started getting freelancing. Yeah, I was doing a lot of it by myself, and I'm a bit of a tech nerd, so I I was quite, I guess, and I think it's another mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is thinking you can do everything better yourself.
Oh
Like
gosh,
a lot
hands
of us
down.
fall. Yeah.
I learned that very early in my career in my company. Like, yeah, you can only,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's people that are actually better than you at some
Yeah.
stuff. So those are the
Yeah.
ones that should take that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So,
So yeah, I
wow.
think
Yeah.
coming to that realization, and starting to outsource a little bit, starting to let go a bit, starting to
Hmm.
really examine what was needed, what wasn't needed, and work through that really pulled me out the other side. And I'm now almost, I wouldn't say anti grind culture. I'm definitely into the grind, but also, self care and
Right,
those
right,
things that are
right,
needed.
right, right, right. And that's where you can share your expertise, well, with your coaching business, because you
Mm.
can hopefully, these women will avoid those pitfalls before they even get to them. And so yeah, that's where it's just so beneficial to have a coach, right? So you've built obviously a brand that resonates clearly. What's been your approach to creating something that's both impactful and sustainable? So this really kind of segues into what we were just talking about. Um, how do you feel like what's really been that approach, creating that?
Yeah. So with my first business, I created that around community. So I'd say my whole thing is about community. Again, it's one of my top values in life. Having this sort of support system and network. So when I came to even building the coaching business, I wanted the same approach. I don't just want to serve this coach, that coach, one to one. I want to build an entire community of coaches that can also help each other and lean on each other. And I think that has a much bigger impact than just going out and speaking to one person, or running a course, serving one
Hmm.
to many every now and then. But then once it's done, they're sort of back on their own again, and they don't have that system. So for me, I feel like to create the widest impact possible, and especially moving into an age of AI where we really are losing human connection,
Yeah, yeah,
bringing
yeah,
people
for sure.
together. Yeah.
Right. How many business coaches how many clients do you typically have at once? And how do you
Um,
fit that in?
well, right now, because I do want to, I don't want to work all the hours under the sun. So I like to do a system where I have 2 days, and at any time I'd have a maximum of 20 in a month, and I'll make sure they're on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and they're kind of in on those particular days. Because I think what a lot of coaches do in the beginning is they'll kind of
Take them
schedule
all.
people in, yeah, any time of day. With me, um, you know, I'm I need systems, I need routines. So I can't see a client and then have some admin and then see a client. It kind of disrupts my flow. So I need a day of clients, and then day of write-ups, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
So
really, really, I am so supportive of that because I always tell my team, when it seems a little overwhelming and they have a really busy day, like, put things into buckets. That's what I call them. Put them into buckets. So only allow, you have each day you have this, and really organize yourself and have those systems. And if you really honor that and honor your time too, to where like you don't make yourself available all day for everybody, like,
yeah,
you can't, because then that will cause burnout, or you won't be able to get to your tasks and you won't be able to
yeah.
complete them. So yeah, I love that, to where you for you, because I'm so intrigued by like the coaching business, and I just think it's so important. I think mentorship in general is important.
Yeah.
um and obviously you've declared yourself as a marketing and a tech nerd. Let's talk more about that. Like, have you always been, because, like with like the techno, the world of tech, and you see so many, it's like a male dominated, area. So I love it when women have that umph of the tech behind them. So have you been like that your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as a teenager, I was that weird kid in the computer room. I was hanging out with the like in the computer room building websites. So back when, you used to build websites with HTML and things like that. And yeah, I used to be hanging out in there doing my thing. And yeah, so years later, in around like 2011, 2012, I created a blog as well. So I was a bit of a blogger back in the day, and everyone was on WordPress with their blogs.
Oh,
So
WordPress, yes, that was
yeah,
the day with the blogs, yes.
yes. So I had my own WordPress blog, and with that, it kind of refreshed all of that using HTML, because it wasn't as intuitive as it is now, creating websites. So that sort of refreshed my knowledge there. And then coming back to it years later with running Adventure S, I had to get back into it again and learn, right, what's going on now. And then since Adventure S, I mean, that's just continued on. And now to help my clients, like, I want to know all there is to know. I want my finger on the pulse.
Yep.
How can they work smarter, not harder? What's going on with AI, which is evolving at the most rapid rate? It's making our heads spin. So always trying to stay one step ahead of that curve. So they are also kept up to date, and they're aware, because now the whole world is shifting into this very like tech heavy
Right.
SaaS AI evolution, if you like. So we are living it. So if you know
Yeah.
as much as you can about it, and stay ahead of that, it is incredibly advantageous.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And definitely the AI slash tech, it's just where we've all evolved, right? So
Yeah, yeah, we're in
yeah.
that age.
Yeah, there's no going back, which is
There's no
no
going
going
back.
back.
We're
Yeah,
living
no
it.
going back. So let's talk more about like personal you, and get to know you a little bit. And who is Kate outside of the business? Love talking the business side of it, but like, what support do you have, to really help you as you are running your business, and the encouragement, or like, do you have your own business coach or mentor?
Yeah, so I do. I feel like everybody needs coaches and mentors, right? Even no matter what level you're at. I know, like,
So
even,
important.
if you're a billionaire, like, usually they've got coaches of some
They've
sort.
got coaches. Yes.
Yeah. So I always
Or
advocate
somebody to
that
talk to, some type of mentor to really just get that heaviness off of
something,
them. Yeah.
yeah, being in some sort of accelerator with others, or have a coach or have a mentor or somebody that is a few steps ahead of you, knows more than you. So yeah, absolutely, I have my coaches, but I think the biggest support network I have is my partner. So I have my fiance, and she has to listen to me 24/7. So
I feel like you're stuck with me. Good,
against her
bad, and ugly,
will.
everything. You're stuck with
Yeah,
me. Yeah, like you're gonna hear it all.
yeah. So she gets a lot of it, and she's been there. She was the one that convinced me to go into business in the first place. I don't know if she's ever regretted that fact, but as a result, she listens to a lot of brainstorming. She's really there for me. If the chips are
Oh,
ever
that's
down, she's there, and
right.
she's a big cheerleader. So
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
great.
if you have a supportive partner, because it is a lifestyle thing, it is almost a culture, and if your partner really supports that, it makes such a difference.
It makes such
It's
a huge difference. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. I am such a firm believer in that. Because I've seen the opposite of that, to where, people I've known where, they're so busy, they're running their company, but their partner is just constantly like, "Oh, are you done working yet? Are you this, you're that?" And it like brings them down, and then you feel torn. So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, having that supportive partner. I'm so blessed to, my husband has just been so supportive from day one, 20 years ago when I started my company. But I can't imagine, you can't really have it otherwise, I don't think. I mean, I
you
think
can't.
if you have a partner, they have to understand and they have to support you.
Yeah, otherwise it's very difficult. And I mean, sometimes it is good to have them there to sometimes say things like, okay, it's you've been working now for 9, 10 hours, is it time
Yeah.
to come back
Yeah.
to
You
the
might want
real
to
world?
eat.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, have you
Right.
eaten? Have you, yeah,
Right. Get your head out of that for just 10 minutes, or yeah, let's take a break. And yeah, I think that's important as well. So they bring back a little bit of the, like you said, the self-care and
normality,
awareness.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think when you love what you do, it's so easy to get sucked into it as well, though. It's like you enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, you could lose me forever. Like,
Yeah.
if there's someone's there to,
Well, and
be
especially
like,
like, for you, when you're coaching coaches and or coaching women or people, and you want to always show up as your best self, right? Because they are so reliant on you.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Like, yeah, you definitely, I mean, compared to what I used to be like to now, um, I do have that awareness, that you need to take
Yeah.
care of yourself. I mean, you asked me who I am outside of work. So I do like going to the gym. So I go to the gym every day, or, I'm kind of get back into running a bit. I love hiking. So on the weekends, I feel like I have to get out into nature. I have to be walking where there's trees and birds, and
It's
it
so healthy and
refreshes you.
mentally. Yes.
It's like hitting that
Yes.
reset button.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, really, was there a pivotal moment for you, personally or professionally, that shaped who you are today?
Yeah, good question. So years ago, I say years ago, I came back in 2020. I traveled for 6 years straight, consecutively, around the world. I lived in different countries, and I backpacked through a lot of countries. I did a lot of South America, Asia,
Gosh, so
Australia,
much energy.
North America. I know, I look back and I'm like exhausted by myself. I don't do that. I don't know if I could do it now, to be honest. Um, but yeah, that really, I think that will affect me for the rest of my life. And I was 27 when I left. Like, now I'm 39. So when I left, I think I was still in a quite malleable state
Hmm.
of figuring out who I am. I used to be a police officer. So I went straight from my career in the police force to traveling the world full time.
Wow. Talk about night and day, right?
Yeah. It's been a
You have
rough
all the
life.
experiences.
Yeah. No. But no, that was incredible. And I think it really shifted my perspective on life, what I want out of life, like what is normal. You know, we've got this conformity that everybody lives, where it's you come out of university, you get a job, you
Right.
marry somebody, you have a
Like
kid,
it's
you
like
buy a
textbook.
house,
Right.
yeah, you buy a car. And then when you travel for an extended period of time and you're sort of subjected to many other cultures, how they live their lives compared to us in the West, it just, yeah, it gives you many different perspectives. And I feel like that's really had a knock on me. I've like actually really struggled to fit back into that, into normal regular life and what's expected of me as an almost 40-year-old. You know, it's, yeah, I sometimes feel a bit set apart from it, but I'm good with that. You know, I
But that's
feel,
okay. I mean, and is there really, and is there a specific normality? I don't, I don't think so. And I think, for you to have that life experience, a lot of people have never had that opportunity. So, I mean, that's amazing.
yeah, it was good times, good crazy
Yeah.
times, and I'd
A lot
never
of,
ever never take it back. You know,
yeah.
I got back and everyone was married, everyone had a mortgage, everyone, you know, was doing the regular thing, and I came back with a backpack and nothing. I had nothing to my name, and I would never reverse it. I would never
I was
take
going to
it
say
back.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Like
memories and
that's you.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
memories of the experiences. And I mean, just think that, and they honestly, a lot of people, like you said, people's lives can look so textbook and so like perfect and they check the box and all that. But do you know how many people probably wish they could trade with you at that
Yeah.
time? Like, oh gosh, I want her life.
Yeah. I mean, it's always grass is greener as well, right? We
Oh
always,
my gosh.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what's one habit or like ritual or non-negotiable for you that keeps you focused and and fuels your creativity?
I think it's hard to pinpoint one, but I think the movement every day, I have a
Hmm.
lot of energy. I have an incredible amount of energy, if you haven't noticed. So for me to be able to sit still and focus, I have to have moved. I never used to go to the gym before work. It is something I do now, and I'm really happy that I do.
So,
Because
you
I
start
usually
out your
wake,
day working out, like going to the gym.
yeah, because usually I wake up and my mind is already crazy about work. I'll
And you
sort of the
can't just
first
shut that
thing.
off.
No, I've tried everything, like the journaling, the meditation, and in the end, it's like okay, I have to do those things, but I also need to move.
Yeah.
So I found that really helps because I get back and I'm sort of on my high and I'm ready to go because I can get overloaded easily.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know if I've got ADHD or something like that, but my mind can fire off too many thoughts. And as a result, I can get either confused or frazzled, you know, one of the two.
Well, let's talk about that. So, do you feel that like when your mind's going in a million different directions, is it more focused on your work and maybe what, and this isn't a bad thing. This is because you care, right? Is it because, like, you're meeting with your coaches or, certain coaches and you really, what they got going on and what their, what their issues is or their highs and lows, or is it a large mixture of just also personal, like what, personal life or what are you having for dinner or things like that?
Yeah, actually, I'm really bad at thinking of personal life stuff. I think that's
Oh,
one. If I was going to point out a flaw in myself, it is uh, totally being the husband.
okay.
You know, like I'm not. My first thoughts isn't what are we going to have for dinner or what
Right,
needs
right, right.
cleaning. You know, I'm more of the kind of. right, let's work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
let's do this.
Let's do
And
this. Yeah.
it's it's really bad. I think that's somewhere, yeah, that's somewhere where I definitely need to work. Maybe there's a coach specifically for that to make me
Well, you
a
feel
better
that sense of
partner.
responsibility, I think that like you feel that sense of responsibility as a partner, right? And so, yeah, like you're probably always trying to be your best self, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's
Well, there's we had a guest who was lovely. And she's in Miami, and she actually has, and I haven't tried it, but I can't wait. I'm going to. She has an app, and it's about your like relationship building, and it's like even with yourself, and it sounds amazing, and I follow her on social media, and she's amazing. So I mean, and it sounds like it's just so helpful for people going through like you can just pop it in your earbuds while you're working out and listen to it, and it sounds like it's like really successful. So
Oh my
we'll have
God,
to
yeah, you'll
send
have to
it to
send it
you.
over.
Yes,
Yeah, you'll have to
yes,
send it
yes.
over.
You may benefit from that. But yeah, definitely though, like the responsibilities of everyday life too. And then when you're busy and running a career and yeah. So
Hard to keep up with everything. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm all for outsourcing that part of my life also.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
right.
that is the first thing that's outsourced.
You're like outsource that one.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
outsource the
let's
life stuff.
right outsource that. How do you define success now? Compared to when you started out, like what would you? Yeah, just how would you define your success?
Mm. So I feel for me, my definition of success has actually not changed even since the beginning. My value's always been making a difference. I think I'm still set on that. I have personal goals. I have wealth goals. I have goals of things I'd like to achieve, status wise, etc. But my overall goal is to serve x amount of people and make an actual difference. I think where I was doing the travel thing for such a long time, I lived out of a backpack. I lived in a minivan at one point in North America, and I love nature, and I was a hiking guide. So for me, my kicks are hiking in the mountains. That for me is everything. So in terms of wealth status, keeping up with the Joneses, that kind of thing, how most people measure success. Not everybody. I think we are
Right.
changing, and that generally isn't the thing that drives me. It's building, if I could build a huge community of people who are helping each other, being helped by me, and that is the kind of thing that really fills me up.
I love that.
Yeah,
And that's like success to you. Yeah, I love that. And I
being
am a firm
happy.
believer too. Yes, being happy and I agree. Success is not just a monetary, thing at all. I think it's really what your happiness and your health and how you feel inside. I think that's, and you love what you're doing.
Yeah, there has to be a balance, right? Because we must, a lot of good things can be done with money, so we must try to achieve a level of wealth because we can help ourselves a lot more and others with it. But
Right.
there's also, there needs to be this sort of balance there where, okay, when you have the wealth, are you going to be happy? Like, what else is going on over here that needs to
Right.
happen
Yeah.
in conjunction to stay happy on the way up? Because when you get to the top of the wealth, whatever your goal you're striving for, you need to make sure whatever else needs to happen because you might not be happy.
That's
So
right. Yeah. You have to
yeah.
be happy inside and just feel content with, yeah, with that, for sure. So really at the end of the day, what's one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self, or another woman who is ready to step into her own power?
That's an amazing question. I think really just, I think knowing that it will be scary and it will be challenging, and it will throw all the things at you that you are absolutely terrified of, but that is part of it. And actually facing those challenges and fears is, it means you can never lose, because you actually grow so much from all of the challenges that are coming for you.
Yes,
So,
yes. You have to get out of your comfort zone many a times to grow.
oh my God, yeah, you can't do it sitting still. It's all about action,
Right.
and just understanding. So younger me, I grew up on a council estate. Anyone listening in another part of the world, it's just a poor community, right? And I didn't grow up with these role models. I mean, my parents were fantastic role models, but I weren't taught these things that I should have been taught to kind of excel in life. I wasn't given a very good foundation from which
Mhm.
to propel from, but I had a strong belief in myself and what I'm capable of. From working in the police to then traveling for 6 years, and then starting the blog and all these random things.
Yeah.
Every time I did something and there was the outcome, I thought, oh, I can do that. I didn't know I could do that,
Right. And then
but
it makes you want to do
actually,
more because you know you can.
yeah. Yeah. So it's starting with one little thing. And when you achieve even the tiniest of little goals, it makes you believe, okay, what's the next one? What can I do next? And for me, it's been a really gradual journey to this point. But now, I feel like, well, if I want that, if I study hard enough and believe in myself, then why not me? There's nothing to say it can't be me, no matter what, no matter where you've come from. It's mostly our own beliefs, right? The imaginary box we put
Absolutely.
ourselves in.
Yes, and believing that you are good enough and you are capable. Yes. And things obviously, these goals may not happen overnight. You have to work at them a lot of times. Or sometimes you just never know what tomorrow's going to bring either. But as you continue to every day push and push and push yourself to be a better, better at whatever that specific goal is, or maybe you have multiple, you know, you're you're going to be successful in that. And I think consistency, right?
Yeah, consistency, baby steps. It doesn't all have to
Yes.
happen overnight. It will never happen overnight,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, you see so
Yeah,
much online anymore, with social media. It's like, yeah, I achieved this in 6 months. And it's like, no way.
I
That's
can't.
not
I can't.
that's not the norm.
Oh man, like especially working in coaches, the amount of this is how you get your first 10K a month. This is how you get your 20K a month. And these guys have been in business or trying ideas for years. And that's the one thing, that's the one disclaimer they're not really putting below it. And it's giving
That's
all
right.
these people this hope for clickbait.
Such false
Um,
hope. Yeah, it's really, it's they're not being transparent about that. And think about it too, how many people that have year after year after year have failed until they eventually found their niche or their success. And I just wish more people would be honest about that, right?
yeah,
You have to hit a lot
yeah,
of roadblocks to really achieve that success and just really not give up because it's not an overnight success.
it's not. Yeah, and that's the best part of it, because the journey, I mean, even when it's been super hard, it's still nice to look back on,
Yes. And
and all the things you
celebrating those
learn.
little wins too, right? It could be something as, oh, wow, I figured this out today. And it could be something that, like, oh, duh, why didn't I know that? And then it's like it clicks. You're like, that's a win. Like, celebrate those because those are the baby steps, like you said, that, will help you achieve that success or move you to the next place where you need to be.
Yeah, I actually coach that as well. And in my own journal, I have milestones. So every day I'll write milestones, and the tiniest of things can be included, the smallest thing. So, someone today messaged me, they watched a video in Impact Coach Collective, my community, and they learn XYZ, and they messaged me personally. So that will go in the journal tomorrow of the milestone, the tiny win.
Love it.
And
Yes.
constantly need to do that, because it's just too easy to focus on the negative. It's too easy to forget these things and think, oh, well, why am I doing it? I
And
used to write, I got 1 follower. I've got 5 followers. I've got, like
yeah,
literally from day dot, it's worth doing.
it's really easy to kind of give up, right? To give up on yourself and to just feel that negativity, like you said. I don't know why it's always easier to do that than to focus on the positives. But if you train your brain and surround yourself around a real positive community, and have that support, sometimes those people or those coaches or mentors or friends or partners that believe in you, you start to believe in yourself too. You really have to believe in yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Like nothing will really happen if you don't have the self-belief that it can work. And sometimes that might take training in also, because we can tell ourselves we believe in ourselves, but you need to tell yourself almost every day for months for your
Yes.
subconscious to actually believe it to be true.
Yes, 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 absolutely. So I love to wrap up our episodes, and this has been a lot of fun. I love talking about, the positive side of all of this and helping others. Um, but it's fun to end our episodes with some rapid fire questions and get to know
Ooh.
you as well. And some of these really, they're fun. And I'm intrigued on what some of your questions or your answers are going to be to these questions. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Hit me.
righty. I know this one, but mountains or ocean for a quick escape?
Mountains every time.
Yeah, yep, yep. That was an easy one after our conversation today. This one too, I think. A morning hike or evening wine?
Oh God, both. Morning hike.
Can we do both 50-50? We'll start out
White
the day and end
wine
the
on
day.
the hike. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You can put it right in, with a straw. Um,
Yeah.
the next is for a confidence booster, a power outfit or a power playlist?
Power outfit.
Mm. They're both great though, right?
Yeah, they
Um,
are. If it was a playlist podcast, yeah, maybe I'd have
yeah,
to
there you
go
go. There you go.
playlist. Yeah.
The next, spontaneous adventure or well-planned itinerary?
Uh, well planned itinerary. I'm a bit of a planner.
Are
Biking is
you?
really quite simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
quite a planner because I used to
Oh,
plan the adventures,
that's
right?
true. Yes,
But
yes. The adventures in the wild. So yeah, you probably, that makes sense. It makes sense. A couple more here. Books or a podcast for inspiration?
I'm a massive fan of both, but I love audiobooks.
Yeah, yeah. You see that a lot with just people are so busy. So you can plug that in when you're driving or exercising or you
My
can
gym time
multitask.
is all about podcasts and books. Like that's the main reason I actually go to the gym. To
And
get
it
my
makes
time
it
with
go and it makes it go by a lot quicker too, right? When
it's
you really
great.
don't have
Yeah.
it in you to work out, but you have to. Um, a London hustle or a country this is cute, or a countryside calm.
Countryside calm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's one that I think would probably depend on the day for me. But yeah, I think if I had to pick one or the other, I agree with you on that one. And last but not least, what's one thing you always pack for an adventure, no matter what?
Probably I don't know about packing, but
Although
I have to have
I'm
a
not
good
going to make it.
podcast.
Oh, okay, good podcast. I was going to
Yeah.
say I'm not going to make it too easy on you. I'm not going to say water. We have to
Yeah,
get
I
that's
know.
a given. That's a
I
given.
immediately thought
My
water,
water
and I
bottle.
thought, no, you can't say that as lame. But yeah, probably. Yeah, if I was going out for a hike or something, I mean, I used to pack tea and and a
Oh,
flask. Yeah,
really?
just to sit and enjoy the view halfway
Oh,
through.
yeah. That just
Or
sounds relaxing too. Yeah, just sit and
yeah,
have some tea and enjoy the views and the surrounding and collect your thoughts. Yeah, that sounds nice. But
yeah.
that's original. Original.
Better than
Well,
water.
Yeah, that's better than the water. I would have taken wine. I mean,
Well, honestly, I used to take a beer. Like if I was hiking up a mountain with a view in Canada, I used to take a beer with me. Beer would be a
oh,
little bit warm by the time I got
yeah, I
there,
was going to
but
say that would be good if it could be a nice cold beer. Yes.
yeah.
Love beer. Love a nice cold beer. For sure. Well, this has been so much fun, Kate. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're going to continue to just inspire so many other coaches as well. And, kudos to you. And I love your success. Your success is just, wanting also to bring others success. And I think that is just, that's beautiful. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Yes, so much fun.